Do you have questions concerning planning a Disney trip? Ask them live on the show or submit them on our website at patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. We've got a fantastic show this evening for you. Hopefully the weather holds and we will be able to have a full show. Looks like it should be okay for right now. But we've got the opening of the 2025 Walt Disney World booking window today, and it came with a few surprises yesterday. We're going to talk through a few of those. Also going to talk a little bit about Inklings, what we found out from that set, what we did, how invested Peter already is, those types of things. And we are going to have Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel join us. He's going to help us get through some of this travel stuff that's going on with Walt Disney World, and a top 3 and a deep dive. So we've got a lot going on tonight, so stay tuned. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. Alright, welcome to Disney Planning Insights. I'm Matt. This is a weekly show where we go over news and notes from the Disney parks. We also have a lot of fun with our top 3, our deep dive, our learning Lorcana segments, all kinds of stuff. So we bring on guests and we just kind of nice shirt do what we do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on Peter with Princess of the Mouse Disney Travel, and we're going to talk some Disney news. Mr. Salvadori, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm like trying a new setup. It's not. I don't like it. It's going to last for right now. I'm going to find myself looking over here a lot, even though I should be looking over here a lot. So yeah. The new room is getting closer and closer. I bought a bunch of art at Festival of the Art. I got that going. I got my Lego castle behind me. There's going to be art on both sides of this. Shelves over here with all sorts of stuff. So we'll figure out where this goes at some point. We were trying to get it done by tonight, but then I ordered the wrong frames because I thought my wife said 24 by 18 and she said 14 by 18. So I ordered 24 by 18.
Oh, so you had a little extra space on those.
Slightly. Just slightly. So those are going back, and the 14 by 18 should be here in a couple days, and we'll get it going.
Yeah, well, so before we get into the news, let's talk a little bit about what we did over the weekend. So over the weekend, we did a draft Inklings release party tournament type thing, which was pretty fun.
Type thingamajigger.
So keeps moving into that. You know, like I said, when we started the Learning Lorcana segment, I'd like to get into like some type of tournament setting sometime later this year, but I felt like some play against some other people in public went better than expected this past weekend. I won a match. I won a game in another match. So I basically split. I won 3 games, lost 3 games. So that's pretty good for me. Yeah.
Well, you lost 4 games.
Well, the 4th one was kind of we just played to play. It wasn't a Put a
Well,
lot
no,
of fun.
it was a best of 3. So you went 0-2, you went 2-0, and then you went 1-2.
Oh, that's right. I lost 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, your math ain't mathing there, buddy. It was a
Fair enough. Fair enough.
look what I pulled the other day.
Oh, Beast Relentless.
A $40 card right there, baby.
Yeah.
Woo. All right. Anyway, yes, we did that. It was a lot of fun. Do you need me to chime in at all, or okay?
Oh, what do you think about the new set? How did your lands play in the tournament?
Look at me, my name's Matt. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, so it is a blind draw tournament. So Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and stuff like that will do tournaments like this as well, where you walk in to the venue and they give everybody the same amount of packs. In Lorcana, it's 6. So they give you 6 packs, and everybody at the same time is able to start ripping open their packs. They set a timer, and he gave us an hour. I'm assuming that's pretty standard because it seemed like the right amount of time without being ridiculously too much time. So we opened up our 6 packs. We started to set up our decks. You have to set up the ink rules are out the window, so you don't have to hold the 2 inks, obviously, with just 6 packs. That would be darn near impossible. And the 60 cards rule is out the window as well. Your deck has to contain at least 40. So just over half the cards that you pull, because in 6 packs you would pull 72 cards. And you have that hour to construct your deck. No trading, no substituting, no bringing cards up your sleeve or anything else like that. So I rip open my packs, as well as Matt and his brother, and then our other friend who kind of lives down the street from me. We all open up our packs. We're starting to make our decks, and I go, man, I opened like hardly any locations. And then as I'm sorting through my cards and kind of getting them set up, I made 1 and 2 ink, 3 and 4 ink, and then 5 or more ink because I wanted to have a good blend. Then once I got into there, I set aside ones that were not inkable to make sure I didn't over-represent that in my deck, because the key to this game is you have to have cards to be able to discard as ink. And did all of that. And as I'm there, I'm like setting up my deck, and I go, boy, I haven't even seen a location yet. And so I just pause what I'm doing, right? Yeah, and we've talked about Inkland's locations before. Yep, they're these sideways things. Yep, there's Nottingham. Matt just had up Montanui. I just pause everything. And so I pick up my first little stack of cards and page. Pick up my next stack of cards, page. Pick up my third stack of cards, page. Sure enough, out of the 6 packs, I drew zero locations.
The four of us at our table had 17 locations, and Peter chipped in with 0.
Right. Yeah. And so I then immediately announced to the room, well, you all have fun playing Inklands. I'm basically playing Chapter 1 or Floodborne. Because I did not have any locations. Now, I did have 1 card, and it did come in handy in my last match, and I wish I would have drawn it in my match before. But I did have 1 card that let me immediately banish a location.
Yeah.
Which came in clutch, because in my last match, it was kind of going back and forth. In Game 2, I kind of steadily walked away with Game 1. It was kind of going back and forth in Game 2. And then just as he put out a location that was going to give him 2 lore per turn, I put out my second and third pig. And I then, on my turn, my pigs dried, and I'll explain that phrase. And then I played the card that banished his location that was going to be giving him 2 lore per turn. And so my pig combo for 7 lore, just along with that card, just absolutely dismantled anything that was going on. and then he on his next turn had nothing to defeat my pigs, and so my pigs then quested for 7 more lore, and I gained 14 lore in 2 turns, and that was the end of the match. And by my pigs, I had, I got him nearby. Here, hold on. Here he is. And then what color is Piglet? Is he
Piglet?
He's silver, isn't he?
Is he amber or silver?
Is he silver? You tell me. You're telling the story.
I don't know.
Is he amber?
Like
anyway, so regardless, my combo was, yeah, he is amber.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh, you got him. Perfect. All right, so Matt's got Piglet, and then Pua. So I had 2 Puas that quest for 2 lore, and then Piglet quest for +2 lore. So he quests for 1, but he quests for +2 if you have at least 2 other characters in play. And wouldn't you believe it, with the card that Matt just showed,
the 3 little piggies.
These 2 fellas right here, double Pua. I went, there's my 2 other characters, and there's 7 lore apiece. The Pua, the pig, and their fearless pirate pig captain. So it was very, very fun time though. No, I really enjoyed myself though. Just to kind of wrap up this thought, it was fun. I would absolutely do it again. I am sitting here right now sleeving cards. So yes, I guess later we're going to talk about the hook, the line, and the sinker of Lorcana.
So let's jump into the news real quick, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let's put 15 minutes up on the timer.
And what should we do?
Well, of course you should care because Disney opened their 2025 booking calendar today to new pricing. Peter, did you get a chance to check out the new pricing for Disney World tickets today?
Oh, it's a wee bit more expensive.
Yeah, it's a wee bit more expensive, but what do you get if you book at a Disney World resort?
Yeah, and I really like this. I appreciate the, let's call it the old college try. I mean, that's, you're already going to get some of those other things. The Magic Band discount. You're going to get, the early entry. You're going to get the late nights with the deluxe resorts. But what is interesting, and I do like this little touch. I just wish it was for whole stay, because how it is like, oh, thanks for the carrot. You get a free water park visit on your arrival day when you stay at a Disney resort, which realistically, if you chalk it up to like what it is right now, it's about a $60 value per person for that little perk if you were to just go to the water park. And it's nice and all, but again, how many people fly in at like 2 p.m., get there, go to dinner? Like, I think it would be a much neater touch if just they said, hey, for Disney resort guests, water park is included.
Yeah, or you have one included water park ticket for each guest.
Yeah, to use at any time.
Yeah.
Because on the day of arrival. So now for me, when I go down to Disney World, sure, let me get the 6 a.m. flight and let me get there as quick as possible. I know you're kind of the same way, Matt. But Southwest flies 7 times a day for a reason, because I'm not the only type of person out there.
Yeah. Well, and like our June trip, we're flying in, and we don't even get to Orlando until 11 at night.
Right.
So
now I do wonder on that, like, would that count for your next day? But I have to imagine the answer is no.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of what I think as well, is that they're gonna poo-poo on that and say, yeah, Well, you got in on Thursday night, so that was
Right.
technically your first day, your arrival day.
Right.
Now, I wonder if you get in on at like midnight.
Intentionally wait to get to the resort till 12:01 a.m.
Yeah.
But then wouldn't you want to spend your first day like at a park versus riding?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how your travel goes, I guess. But, I mean, it's the college try. When I saw it originally, I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And then I saw all the kind of stipulations on it, and I was like, yeah, this isn't as cool as I originally thought.
Yeah, I think you go all the way and you say, hey, our water parks are included. Because to be completely honest, like I've been to the water parks a couple of times and they're never very, very busy. And so that would also help with a little bit of the overcrowding. And it would be a nice touch for those that don't get park hoppers, because then they could start the day in a park, go to the water park for the mid to late afternoon, and then either call it quits or head back to their park for the fireworks time. Again, I think that would be and if they kept both water parks open all year round and offered free water parks for their resort guests, that would do a little bit of that pull the traffic out of the parks that you and I have been talking about a ton over the last month or two of this show.
Yeah, and another thing that I
crazy busy.
Another thing that I noticed was the pricing. Now, hotel prices seem to stay pretty consistent.
Yeah, and hotel prices, you like wait to get the 30% off deals. So
yeah,
it's within
right now.
$10 a night.
You know, if you book now for as late as you can in the booking window, you're going to get the best price right now. Even with the 30%, when it comes down the pike, this is going to be the best price you're going to get, because as the rooms fill up, the price of the hotels go up. It's just how it works. So, but pricing on the hotel stayed relatively similar. But that base ticket, that cheapest base ticket that used to be $109 per day, is now $129 per day. And the surge price ticket that used to be $129 per day is now $159 per day. So, this is, I mean, now granted, it is now roughly the same price as it is to go to Universal. But it's still a pretty big jump when you're talking about a family of four. You know, it's $80 to $120 a day that you're adding on to that vacation cost. So it is a pretty considerable jump, and there isn't any discount outside of that right now that you can say, oh, well, this softens the blow, other than if you get in to Orlando early, you get the water park thing. Now, here would be my suggestion on that. Pack an overnight bag, fly in, stay at a good neighbor at Springs, and then transfer to your Walt Disney Resort the next day.
Yep.
And now your arrival day ends up being a full day to where you can use it at a water park or whatever. So
yeah, it still kind of annoys me. I like the at one time at any time in your stay, because to then tell me that I have to get down there and the first thing I'm going to do with my excited kids is go to a water park.
Yeah.
No, thank you. But absolutely, like, go to the water park on like day 3. That might be quite wonderful.
Well, I think that's the whole. And we talk about this a lot, the first-time visitor versus the long-time visitor. The first-time visitor that takes their kids down, they don't know what Walt Disney World is. So going to a water park the first day may not be weird to them. But for somebody like us that's been down there multiple times, to go down to a water park the first day is weird. So yeah, so that's what that is. 2024 prices were not impacted. Another thing cool that happened at Walt Disney World is they're testing drones. And we've talked about this quite a bit. Really, since I got back from Paris last year. This has kind of been out there as a speculation on our side, just because, Walt Disney World hasn't had a good history of keeping shows at Animal Kingdom, and really just trying to see what they could bring in. Paris had a wonderful drone show that they put together for their 30th anniversary, and the company that did that drone show, all of a sudden opened an office in Orlando shortly after that show shut down. So yeah. So here recently they've been testing drones over the parks, multiple places, but really cool to see that they are seeing what the drones could do. For me, this is still something that could be very useful at Animal Kingdom, but even shows that around, Spaceship Earth and the castle and that kind of stuff would be fantastic with the addition of drones. The drones are a really cool addition, and just, what they're doing with the freaking electric light parade in the sky right now is unbelievable at Paris. If you get a chance, go on YouTube and check that out, because it is crazy cool what they're doing with the drones over there. Peter, what do you think about this?
Kind of what you said. I think it is just an absolute waste for, I don't know what other word to use, that entire bandstand area at Animal Kingdom is not some type of a nighttime show or even any show whatsoever. Because basically what it is right now is it's a lounge area for about 50 people at a time who are just looking to sit down and get off their feet for a few minutes.
Yeah, because it's almost always in the sun.
Yeah.
There isn't a whole lot of shade back there. Yeah, it would be a great area to have a show, and I think it's something that they could do with, the tree in the background, and, bringing the drones in and having some tighter formations in there with the drones. I really feel like the biggest obstacle that they've got to figure out there is where do you put, like, the landing pad and kind of the staging area for the drones there.
But even that is kind of already solved over. You could easily do that over in that Dino Land area where they already need to just go in there with a tractor and just plow everything except for Restaurantosaurus and Dinosaur, because we can retheme Dinosaur for Indiana Jones, and Restaurantosaurus can be turned into a good restaurant. Everything else can just be plowed the heck out of there, and you then put the drone landing pad between the Finding Nemo building and the new area that we're going to construct right there while we're in with all that other construction.
Yeah.
Create a nice little elevated platform back behind the trees, and
I really feel like they're going to try and bring something quicker than the change of. I really am interested at D23 this year. D23 really has my interest peaked this year, just because of how little came out last year, and kind of what they've got kind of sitting there, teed up, ready to go. So
it might be nothing.
It might be nothing. Disneyland Forward Project Public Planning Commission meeting happened last night. Lots of things talked about, investment in community, emergency management services, what they're going to do with the affordable housing, that kind of stuff. This is still a project that's really far out, but the commitment is like $2.5 billion right now, with a B, $1 billion right now by Disney. And really what this project does is it expands lands into current parking structures, and then creates a larger parking structure where one already is. So it is a big expansion. They've already talked about the addition of Avatar to Disneyland in some form or fashion, so that could be part of that program. I don't know. they're not talking a whole lot about what's going in there. They're just talking about like all of the essential services and structure and city planning that has to go in with a project of that scale right now. So nothing crazy there. Limited time run of Soarin' over California at Epcot ends on February 27th. Hey, look, that's today. Soarin' around the world returns tomorrow, and it does not have a new closer. It is the same closer, it sounds like. So if you know what I'm talking about, where they go into the World Showcase, or through World Showcase into the backside of Spaceship Earth, it is the old fountain as we know and love it, not the new area that has been constructed.
Which it should be switched to as quickly as possible, and it should be that new area at night, because that new area is just stunning at night.
Disney Visa card members can now receive 10% off at Savi's workshop for custom lightsabers. That really piques my interest in building one for myself. So if next month you see a lightsaber behind me, you'll know exactly what happened.
Yeah, you'll pay the cost that they used to be when Savi's opened.
Yeah, back to $199. Woohoo! Ish. Plus tax and fees, and I'm sure California is going to do something to it. And that's all for the news. Any news that you're seeing that I didn't talk about?
I don't even know. I don't know what we talked about.
You've been sleeving cards. Did you sleeve anything good?
Yeah. Hold on. We're looking.
Hold up.
Oh, I got a lucky dime.
Ooh. Legendary item?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now I have 2 lucky dimes.
There you go. All right. Well, that was our 15 minutes. That's the news. If you guys have any questions about what's going on at Walt Disney World, at Disneyland, on the Disney Cruise Lines, let us know. Because we have the info. We've got sources. And for the sources that we have, they have sources. So we're good. All right.
Sources.
All right. It is top 3 time. So here we go. Business trip.
Did the people move around?
It does tingle a little bit.
Cards from Saturday night that I need to sleeve.
He's talking about Lorcana stuff. It's top 3 time.
Oh, my fault.
Welcome to the DPI Top 3. I'm Matt with the Disney Planning Insights podcast. Over on the other screen is Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Planning. We Disney Travel, Disney something. We're wearing the same shirts tonight, which is funny. I was like, you had your Under Armour sweatshirt on. I was like, oh, good, okay. And then you took your Under Armour sweatshirt off, and I was like, that's the same shirt I'm wearing. So, we're twinning. Yay! No, don't. Because you'll scare the shit out of Shannon.
You said the SH. You said the S hit
we're
word
not on cable. We're good.
On live television.
Earmuffs. All right. If you've been here before, you know what we do. If you haven't been here, welcome. Hit that like and subscribe button. We are going to have some fun. We are going to randomly choose a category. Here they are. And there's stuff flying all over my desk. And we are going to have about 30 seconds to figure out our top 3 or bottom 3 for that category. Peter, are you ready?
Yeah, hold on. I'm opening up a pack.
You're doing what?
Opening a pack.
Oh.
Okay, I'm ready. It's going to help me think, I promise.
Okay. 20 is our category tonight. Let's see what number 20 is. I know we've done that one before. We'll do the one right above it. Haha. Our top 3 tonight is your top 3 favorite places at Walt Disney World to grab a beer. You got 30 seconds.
Thinking about taking a trip to Disneyland, Disney World, maybe a Disney cruise, or one of the other amazing Disney destinations? Contact me at Princess of the Mouse, and I'd love to work with you on your itinerary to the most magical places in the world.
You can contact Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel on Facebook at PATM Disney Travel. All right. Top 3 places at Walt Disney World to grab a beer. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, keep stalling. You're doing great.
Peter, you want to go first with this one?
No, I'm getting the name of it. Hold on.
Well, fine.
Oh, it is that. Okay. All right. I was just, like, in my mind, the place was, I had the name and I was like, no, that's wrong, you idiot. But no, I'm right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go with number 3 because I am going to try to get a little bit of love spread around all the parks, although obviously Magic Kingdom is difficult unless one of us go with a restaurant, which I don't plan on doing, which really puts us in the other 3 parks. Yeah. So I am going to go 1 in each park, and we'll see how it compares to what Matt has. And we could even go outside the park to one of our collective favorites as well. So I'm going to start with number 3, and I am going to go over to Animal Kingdom, and I am going to go to Pangu Pangu, which is right out in front of Satuli Canteen, just to the left of it. What is fantastic about this location is you can get both of the unique ales, the Moara High Country Ale, as well as the Grog's Ale, and they are unique beers that you can only get in this location and Satuli Canteen. And so no trip to Animal Kingdom is complete unless, as I'm coming out of Flight of Passage, I get in a little Pangu Pangu line and grab myself one of those beers. Maybe Jesse gets the other one. And typically I will grab a Night Blossom, which is also one of the more unique kid-friendly drinks, as it is a mix of 2 different kind of slushies along with some of those. They're not boba because they're not gummy. They're like juice. And they're like those little juice ones. Uh-huh. And you what?
Yeah, they're boba still, but.
Oh, yeah. So juice boba, but not like gummy boba.
Yeah.
So with some juice boba, and it is just a really, really great drink, especially on a nice hot Florida day. So a little bit of grabbing some Night Blossoms as well as that. And you can always spike the Night Blossoms should your fancy dictate that. So I am going to go number 3, unique, limited, exclusive. So one of my favorite places to grab a beer, Pangu Pangu.
Okay. For my number 3, I am going to go outside the parks, and it's going to be a place that we just went for the first time with you guys. And my number 3 place to grab a beer is at the putt-putt courses.
I was like getting ready to cross out one of mine.
Yeah. And it's just like, you don't think about it, but we went out to do Fantasia Gardens, and their beer selection there was really, really good. There
were about 10 options-ish in that fridge inside the clubhouse.
And they had like the grapefruit Hefeweizen, they had ciders, they had all kinds of stuff there. And then to enjoy while you're playing putt-putt, and just kind of an off-pace type of place to go get a beverage. I thought it was a really cool place to kind of get out, have a beverage, do something different, and it was really, really cool. So, my number 3 is going to be grab a beer at one of the pro shops at the putt-putt courses. Let's go ahead, let's get to our number 2s.
Yeah, that was a good one, Matt, and very unique, kind of similar idea as I didn't even think about that, but that made the putt-putt experience, all that much more enjoyable. We had some drinks as we worked our way around. We were not in a rush in any sense of the word, and so we even took a break and went and grabbed some more rounds halfway, So because the course was a link style course, so we were nowhere near the pro shop. But don't you
Yeah.
worry, we hoofed it and found our way back to the club. So, as I said, I am going to go park. I'm going to go 3 different parks, 3 different places. My number 2 is going to take me over to Hollywood Studios, and at Hollywood Studios, gosh, I love getting a beer over at Baseline Tap House. One of my favorite places in the parks is Baseline Tap House. I think it's a great place to kill a little bit of time. If you're lucky enough to find the seating either inside or in that little courtyard. If not, my pro tip is to turn left and go down the ABC commissary line and grab one of those tables, because you're still within distance to not have to carry your stuff all that far, but you can typically find an empty table down along that line. The Tap House is wonderful. It's got a couple of cocktails with a margarita, as well as something similar to like kind of a little, it's called like Sunset Cooler or something like that. It's really similar to like Screwdriver, but I think it has rum or whatever. But then there's plenty of beers. There's got to be like 8 or 10 beers. There's a nice cider. And then there's just a couple of really good menu items. The charcuterie board is fantastic, right? Adult Lunchables for the win. All of us kids that grew up in the 90s and early 2000s have grown up and made fancy Lunchables. So they've got a really fancy Lunchable there. And then they have one of those big Bavarian pretzels that you can only get over in Germany and also at Baseline, as well as a couple other places. But it's got that big, giant Bavarian pretzel, big enough to you get a charcuterie board and a pretzel, and you have basically made a meal for a family of 4. So it is a great place to spend a few hours, or even just to spend 45 minutes relaxing around Baseline. When Matt unfortunately had to leave our business trip a day early, I decided to go to Hollywood Studios, and I probably sat at Baseline for about 2 hours because I was like, I'm kind of out of stuff to do and don't really have any more filming to do. I'm just going to sit here and drink a cider and then a lager.
There you go.
So, yep, I'm going with Baseline. What's your number 2, Matt?
My number 2, I'm going to stay in Hollywood Studios as well, and I'm going to go with a little bit more on the outer space theme, and we're going to go over to Oga's Cantina for our number 2.
That is a good one.
Not only does it have great, unique drinks, it's got great, unique beers there as well. You've got the Bad Motivator, you've got Gamorrean, and you've got the Gold Squadron Lager. Really, really good beverages that you can grab.
You forgot the Wampa.
The what?
The Wampa.
The Wampa.
Yeah, there's a Wampa. It's a Hefeweizen.
Ah.
That's what I normally get.
Beers. You also got a cider over there, the Spice Runner Hard Cider. Not a big fan
That used to be so Angry Orchard, which is owned by Sam Adams, by the way. When Oga's first opened, they were making a special spiced cider that was only being made and packaged for Disney. And then in the shutdown, they got rid of it. And then Angry Orchard / Sam Adams decided not to remake it. And so now it's literally just Angry Orchard. It's just regular old run-of-the-mill. It's not even like a special flavor Angry Orchard. Very frustrated with it. But I digress. I apologize. I jumped in front of your number 2.
So Shannon just put, Matt wouldn't have let you stop for 45 minutes to let you drink a beer if he had been there.
What you went with us, Shannon.
No. That trip was a whole different pace than our normal trips. But no, Oga's great theming, great. I mean, just a cool atmosphere. Have a couple of drinks, get a weird charcuterie board there, and then because they've got some interesting meats and cheeses.
Yeah, the Habapur sampler is crazy. The Batu bits are fun. The Oga's Obsession and Rhodian Ration. Unique stuff all around.
So Good stuff over at Oga's. So that is my number 2, Oga's Cantina at Hollywood Studios. Peter, let's get to our number 1. And before you give us your number 1, where can people find you?
Oh, find me over on Facebook, Princess and the Mouse Travel. You'll see me with my family in front of Expedition Everest, and I need to change that photo, and that's only the 17th time I've said that on this show. Yeah. So still not changed, but maybe someday. Here's hope.
I mean, if you'd ever take a trip down there.
You what?
I said if you ever take a trip down there.
Oh, yeah, I know. If only I ever went to Disney World. Yeah, it's funny, though. I would love to talk to you. Over the last couple of shows, I had talked about how travel had kind of slowed down, and then, boom, all of a sudden, I've booked like 6 clients here in the last few weeks. So,
yay, tax returns.
I don't think it was any of you that watched the show. So, yeah, love to talk to you, though. My number one is a no-brainer, and then Matt better go to his number 1. I can predict what Matt's number 1 is, because I think Matt's number 1 is also out of the parks. So my number 1 is inside of Epcot. As I said, I would give each park the love. And my number 1, hands down, undisputed champion for most drinks purchased at Walt Disney World by me.
Rose and Crown.
Is at the Rose and Crown pub. You absolutely, like, whenever people go, oh, is it Canada or Mexico, right? It's like the age-old question, Canada or Mexico. I'm always like, I come in the back entrance and go straight to the pub is actually my right answer. Yep, no day at Epcot, no 3 hours at Epcot is complete without a diesel. Shout out to Charlotte, one of the longtime bartenders there, who kind of got here, started being a bartender, and then just stuck because she's literally been there for like 8 years, I think. But I used to get snake bites because I love the blend of Harp and Strongbow. I think it is just a delicious combination. It is crisp. It is refreshing. It goes down smooth. It is just wonderful. And then Charlotte one time said, oh, would you like to make it a diesel, in an accent, but I'm not going to dare insult her by trying to attempt to pretend
Come on.
No. So my one of my favorite bartenders at Rose and Crown, Charlotte, said, oh, why don't you make it a diesel? And I said, what's that? She said, oh, I'll put a little black currant in it for you, which is pretty rare to like English pubs, because I read up on it, and it is this little kind of syrupy fruit mash made of black currants, which are local to the island of England or the UK. And so they got these diesels, which is a snake bite with black currant, and I have drank it that way ever since. But I stop in there all the stinking time, to the point where if we are walking past Canada or we are walking through France as we're coming across that bridge, my family will immediately go, Dad, you don't need to go to the pub. Dad, you don't need a snake bite. Dad, you don't need and they're always wrong, magically, like every single time. Like, I have been known, we're heading out for the night, we're leaving across the bridge to head out the back to get on the Skyliner or to walk to like Beach Club or Boardwalk, and I will turn right, I will grab one, and I will drink it on my way out to the exits. So, hands down, my favorite place to grab a drink, and the huge crowds of people would agree with me anytime you go into that pub. And okay. I think I lost Matt.
No,
how much did I cut off?
You didn't lose me, but I'm really concerned that I'm going to go the wrong way on this, because I've got 3 places, and I'm like, hold on, where am I supposed to go? But before I give my number 1, obviously there's a couple more answers that could be just as good as my number 1. So if you've got a better answer, put it in the comments, put it in the chat. Let us know somehow, and then, just give us a thumbs up if we hit it for you.
Or I'll say it with my bonus ones.
So So when I think about a place that you can get a lot of beers, I go to Disney Springs. And I know you're gonna go this way because I think the one that you want me to say is in the Poly. Man,
Go ahead. No, go for it. I know what you're gonna say. It is a good place to grab a beer because there's like 50 options.
Yeah, there's a ton of options, but I'm gonna go the other way, and I'll go to Trader Sam's. And
that's the right answer.
Trader Sam's Grogado is a fantastic, unique, very well themed to almost a sickening point experience that you can do in the Polynesian. It is a very, very inconspicuous place. If you're trying to find it, it is just a door in a hallway in the Polynesian, but it does have, let's see, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 beers that are orderable. Are they on tap? No, it's just a selection, so it's probably...
It's cans and bottles, yeah.
Cans and bottles, yeah. We didn't get beers there, so... but also a bunch of just really cool, fun drinks that always come with a show, and it's a really, 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 really fun atmosphere. Kids are able to be in there until 8. And then they kick all the kids out, and it is an adults-only bar from 8 till close. So yeah, number 1 is going to be Trader Sam's Grog Grotto.
Yeah, and with Trader Sam's, the hours are 3 to 11, but pro tip, you want to get there around 1, no later than 2, and put your name in, because then it's going to be called, because there are absolutely like many days. If you go over there at 6 o'clock thinking, oh, I'm going to get in and get a drink, you're going to get there at 6 o'clock and they're going to say, oh yeah, it'll be about 3 hours. Like, that's just what it is. Okay. Yeah. Like that's what it's very compact. They don't allow you to, there's not like standing room. You have to be at a location within the restaurant, but it is a lot of fun. And there's all of like maybe 50 seats in the whole place. So very, very limited seating. But that is a fantastic number 1. Although, to give Disney Springs some love, Matt, I do think your other one is worth an honorable mention for sure.
Yeah,
because
City Works.
The top 3 is best places to grab a beer.
Yeah.
And hands down, best place to grab a beer is probably
City Works over at Disney Springs. Just find the building for Drawn to Life over on the, I guess it's the west side of the property, and no, don't do that. And it is a big, huge sports bar right before you get to the Drawn to Life building. Yeah, just absolute, just huge tap house. Like Peter said, it's probably got about 50 beers on tap. Plus, you can get specialty cans, bottles, that kind of stuff as well. Let's see if it gives an idea here. Probably not. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and count. Yeah, but yeah, it's 90 plus local and global varieties of beer on tap. So, if you want a beer, that's a place to get a beer. And they're always running like cider specials or beer flight specials or stuff like that if you want to go and try beers. So, yeah, just great place to go and get a beer. Peter, do you have a special edition pick? Or
yeah, I have I'll do a +1. Abracadabra over on the boardwalk is a great late night place, just to talk about, a couple of places not in the parks where you can enjoy some stuff after park closing. Abracadabra is directly next to Trattoria El Forno. In fact, when the Trattoria El Forno lobby starts filling up, a lot of times people overflow into Abracadabra when they have those reservations, and it is a lot of fun. There are kind of in the same vein as Trader Sam's. It's a unique experience. You go more for the cocktails, but they absolutely have beers on the menu, and it's a great time, a great place to have a drink. So,
yeah.
How did Shannon's list compare to ours?
What's that?
What was Shannon's list compared to ours?
Shannon actually didn't give us a list because I don't give her time to drink at the parks.
Yeah, but I specifically took her on a September trip to do that.
I would say if we're talking atmosphere, another great place for atmosphere to drink over at Disney Springs is the Edison. The Edison has a fantastic. It's actually got 3 bars.
Yeah, it does.
It is a huge place. It looks like this little place when you walk up to it, and it is like enormous when you walk in. But speakeasy style, 1 bar upstairs on the main level, 2 bars in the lower level, and just really cool place to grab a beer. Weekend music as well, so think speakeasy, so jazzy, turn of the century ragtimey type stuff. Yeah, just really cool.
We could go on and on about all the places at Disney Springs to grab a beer. Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
So
great
Absolutely.
top 3, Peter. I don't think we're going to do a deep dive or anything after this, so thank you guys all for watching. Guys, have a wonderful night, and we will see you next week. Bye now. Peter with Princesses of the Mouse Disney Travel joined us tonight. We talked a little bit of Disney news with the opening of the 2025 booking window and had a top 3. Check them out. On social media, you can find us in a lot of places. The easiest is going to be over on Facebook at DPI Podcast for the show page, over at PATM Disney Travel for the travel side. If you want to get into the conversations, you can get into them over on Twitter at Disney Insights, and we also have YouTube and Instagram. Check them out. Thank you guys all for watching, listening, liking, sharing, everything that you do to support the channel. Have yourselves a good week, and we will talk to you next